welcome to today's haul video. Today I'm going to be sharing with you everything I picked up on my recent trip to Birmingham. If you haven't watched it already, do go check out my Birmingham shopping vlog. I take you with me while we go manga shopping in a bunch of places. Worlds Apart, Tokyo Toys and Forbidden Planet. I had a super fun time. It was wonderful seeing everyone. It was also my first time ever in Birmingham, so I was quite excited to go around and see what the city had to offer. I do find it quite funny that, like, door to door, it is quicker for me to get to London than it is to get to Birmingham, just because of train lines and awkward roads. It's probably one of the main reasons I'd never really quite gone yet, because it was just a bit faffy. I really am thankful, especially for Liddy, who guided us around and had like maps open and was walking us routes and showing us the stores and everything. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It was a great time. Thank you for your efforts. Yeah, if you want to see that video will be going up before this one, so do check it out and I'll leave a link in description as well. Yeah, so as I said, we went to 3 stores that sold manga. We went to Worlds Apart / Forbidden Planet International, it's the same thing, Tokyo Toys and Forbidden Planet, which is separate. So Worlds Apart / Forbidden Planet International do 3 for 2 on everything. Tokyo Toys didn't do 3 for 2 or any deals. They had some random volumes on sale, one of which I'll show you. And then Forbidden Planet does 3 for 2 on Viz and 7 Seas. Now they did, I think, have 3 for 2 on, I think, Titan as well, and it's very odd because the London store does 3 for 2 on Tokyo Pop, but Liddy asked staff if they did 3 for 2 on Tokyo Pop in the Birmingham one, and they said no. Which I do think is odd. I've not experienced like different types of 3 for 2 across the same chain. That is different. Anywho, we're gonna start with the Worlds Apart haul first. It is the biggest. It does make up most of this haul, and I hope you look forward to it. So something I try to do when I go to stores that I have never been before is try and hunt out or look out some series that I don't really see elsewhere or are a bit trickier to find, and they're the sort of series that they've been on their shelves for quite a long time, they've lingered, but they might be ones that I'm interested in because I can't find them elsewhere or I don't see them around as often. Now obviously not all the ones I've picked up are like incredibly out of print or anything, I just don't see them around as much, and because I saw like a good chunk of the series together I was like, let's go for it. So the first one I grabbed was Wonder Cat Kyu-chan, and I grabbed 3 to 6. This is what they had. I do love me some cat series, so I was quite excited to see a chunk of this one. I believe it's complete at 8, and I have checked and I can get, I think, 1, 2 and 7 and 8 online at okay prices, so I'm quite excited to be able to probably quite quickly pick up and collect this. I love my cat series. I especially love my episodic silly like 4 coma cat series. They're just some of my favourite, and that is apparently what this one is. There hadn't been a particular reason I hadn't picked it up before, and I took this as a wonderful excuse to grab half the series in one go. Okay, next we grabbed a series that I have just never heard of before, which is some of my favourites, sometimes end up being some of my favourite series. We have Void's Enigmatic Mansion, and I picked up 4 volumes. I picked up 2 to 5 of this series in Worlds Apart, and I believe volume 5 is the last one. I just need volume 1, but I was kind of shocked about, I didn't realise until I was paying that actually it's in full colour. I've not heard of the series before at all in the slightest, but it's a full colour series published by Yen Press. It is a little bit battered. I wonder if it's been on the shelves a while, but it's higher priced. It is $14.99 a volume, which I'm like, well, that's pricey, but iPress normally RRP is at $15.99, so it's already £1 below. Another series that I swept up a load of volumes for was Kuma Miko, and we got 2 to 8. So this currently does only have 8 volumes in print in English, I believe. I think there is more volumes in Japan, but I don't think in English we've gone past 8, if I have understood and was told correctly. I just need volume 1, and I have thankfully found a volume 1 that I have ordered and should arrive at some point. I understand volume 1 is a very hard volume to find. I think Liddy linked me a library copy, and I'm personally quite happy with library copies, so I've ordered that one. It was Kigs that talked about this series to me, one of the mods in the Dudette Discord server, and one of the wonderful people I went to Birmingham with, and she talked about how wonderfully cute and wholesome this series is, and I was like, excellent, I'll see what I can find. And then she was like, they've got most of the volumes, and I was like, okay, fine, I'll grab them. Okay, so the last like group of volumes I picked up before we go on to some more individual and new releases that I picked up, I got volumes 5, 7 and 8 of Scum's Wish. Now this is a series that has been recommended to me lots over the years. Unfortunately, volumes of it are very hard to find / out of print, and I believe volume 4. I think volume 4 is the worst for it. Now they did have some earlier copies of this, but I think I read that some of the later ones are the trickier ones to find. So I grabbed the later ones and I thought I'll try and get the earlier ones online and then just bide my time to see if I can find a listing for volume 4. I do quite like having some series where there is a volume or two that is very hard to find, and it just makes it sometimes really fun to try and track it down and find it, and I'm personally quite happy to do that. I know lots of people aren't, and it is a silly thing to do, but I enjoy it. It's like a little treasure hunt puzzle. Okay, we have a few light novels that Ben picked up. We have Survival in Another World with My Mistress Volume 1. We were quite surprised to see this was priced at $11.99. We were quite happy because we needed one more for a 3 for 2. Usually 7 Seas is $14.99, so yeah, pleased with this. I quite like the manga, though it is explicit and many questionable parts to it, but I think it's one of the better instances of like a Minecraft style world that I've seen. It's quite literally Minecraft. Like there is a point where he's like imagining pressing the space bar to jump and he jumps. That kind of, yeah. Next we got volumes 14 and 16 of Goblin Slayer, the light novel. This is Ben's current series. He's currently reading this and has been asking me very nicely to film this damn video so we can continue reading. He has volume 15 and he has just finished 13, so he was like, yep, okay, I can now be up to date and read it, and I'm like, you gotta wait till I film the whole video, and he was like, when are you filming it? I'll film it now. I think 16 gets him up to date. I'm not sure if there's been any more releases past that in a while. And then a random volume, I think again for a 3 for 2, was I've Been Killing Slimes 300 Years and Maxed at My Level 11. It was just one that he needed. It fills a gap, so yeah, a bit closer to being able to read more of this, though I think he's still missing a couple of the earlier volumes. Next we have some manhwa pickup. So we have Imitation Volume 6, one of the few manhwa that Yen Press keep in the Yen Press imprint. I have been enjoying it, but I'm a bit behind. I'm trying to keep up to date with my manhwa, but because it hasn't got the Ice Press imprint, I've not been including it in my like mega stay up to date with Ice Press series. I don't know if I should to trick myself in some way, but I will get to them maybe later in the year. I'll try and just read all of my manhwa. SSS Class Revival Hunter Volume 4. It has been one of my favourite system series. I have already read it, really excited by it, and I do recommend if you like your system series. Some similar vibes to ReZero in that he is able to go back in time every time he dies. He doesn't go back to a fixed point, it just goes back to 24 hours before he dies, and it's just really interesting seeing him like iterate and improve on like a scenario as he's becoming more and more familiar with it, and seeing all the dialogues pop up and like his thought process. It's been quite fun. Beware the Villainess Volume 4, a fun villainess title. Again, happy to stay up to date. What I did notice with this volume, and it did make me go looking, is that it was stickered at $16.99, and I was like, wait a minute, the RRP on Ice Press is $15.99. Is Worlds Apart being cheeky? But no, I looked up and everywhere looks like the pricing has gone up £1 for Ice Press. Amazon, Sci-Fi, Blackwell, Spin Planet, all of them have an RRP of $16.99. It is a shame. I'll be honest, I was kind of surprised they'd kept it this low for this long, especially with 7 Seas manhwa often being like $21, $22.99. Now I know they're often thicker, but I don't know if they actually often have more pages. Sometimes the thickness is deceiving for how many pages the volumes have, because like a really thick volume might have really thick pages and a really thin volume might have really thin pages. So don't use thickness necessarily to judge how much content you're getting. Yeah, I honestly am not surprised, it just sucks. Okay, next we have a few volumes where I was just getting, I think actually all of these are the final volume in the series, unintentionally, and then we're on to volume 1s. First pickup is Ogami-kun Can't Keep It In Volume 7. Now honestly, I thought I had ordered this months ago. I was very confused, but no, it turns out I did not, and I'm just an idiot. It's the final volume of this series and I really enjoyed it. It gives me like Komi meets O Maiden's Year 7 season, both series that I do quite enjoy. I have read it and I'll talk more about my thoughts on the ending of the series in my reading vlog when I get around filming those again. As we have Virgin Love Volume 4, I keep seeing this on shelves and I was like, I'll hold off till I check how many volumes it is. I did not realise it's complete of 4. Again, absolute numpty. If I'd realised it was complete of 4, I'd have probably picked it up ages ago. I do intend to try and finish finish reading it this month. I'm trying to read a bunch of series where I don't have many volumes left to complete them. That's one of my goals for this month of reading, and this is on it. I'm probably the same with this series, which is Coffee Moon Volume 6. When I read Volume 1, and I did quite like it, and I enjoyed the like Groundhog Day kind of premise, but it definitely felt like a series where I needed to have all the volumes or a bunch of volumes to read together, and I was going to enjoy it more to do a binge. So I held off on reading it until it was complete, and I think we've had to wait a while for Volume 6, but it does say right there in the front and the middle, final, so we are good. Complete, so this is another one on mine to try and read this month list. Okay, now we're on to the volume 1s that I picked up at Worlds Apart. And as usual, my volume 1 pickups are often quite blind, so I can't really have much to say about these series yet. So we have Shout Loud My Heart volume 1. Oh, it looks like it's a one-shot, there's no numbering. It's plastic wrapped, and I have quite enjoyed my, look, I assume it's BL. Yeah, I have quite enjoyed my BL one-shots from Caketinz over my BL one-shots from 7Cs, so I am actually holding out good hope for this one. Sticking to that music theme, we have Tune Into the Midnight Heart Volume 1, and I don't think this is like much of a new release because I saw Volume 2 was out, so I'm just a bit behind on this one. It's a shame, I think my spine is leaking. I have very mixed thoughts on when it comes to music series in manga format. I mean, I often just don't think they work as well. Preferably I would watch if I could, but I'll still give it a go and see what I think. Last Samurai Standing Volume 1, just a new release, give it a go. Based on the story that inspired the Netflix Samurai epic. I picked this one up because of the title and it made me giggle. You talk too much, so just shut it already. Volume 1, just shut up. Oh, it's about a character that's born deaf. I feel a bit mean now. I wonder if it's one of those like weird translations, like Dick Fight Island is nothing like that in the Japanese title. I wonder if this is some translation liberties or something. This seems like a really aggressive title compared to what it says in the back of the volume. Cat Crazy Volume 1 from the same creator as Cat Gamer. I adore Cat Gamer with all of my heart, so I was very thrilled as we were approaching an ending to see that there was going to be another series from the same person to do with cats. Cat Crazy is a silly but sincere series that follows cats who simply adore cats and seek to learn more about these mysterious creatures. That sounds perfect. These are the sort of series that I'm trying to get my mother to read to try and like lure her into manga as well. Dope Man Volume 1. I picked it up because of the title. Truthfully, I'm gonna be good though. I'm not gonna grab any more until I read it, and if I think it's really shit, I'm not gonna pick up more. But I at least will read Volume 1 and see if it is as dumb as the title. Tower Dungeon Volume 1. Now, I have seen so many people excited for this series, and I was like, I'll look out for it because it seems exciting. It seems like people are excited, sorry. When we were in the Worlds Apart and I pulled out the volume to look at it, and then Ben was like, oh, it's the same mangaka as Appa Sims and Blam, both series that he's really enjoyed, and he like suddenly got really excited. And Ben does, like, he'll read stuff and he'll enjoy stuff once he's read it, but he isn't like too often excited for manga before he's read it. So I was like, oh my gosh, Ben's excited. Yes, we'll get it, Ben, we'll get it. You can read it, excellent. I don't know anything about it, just that everyone's excited and Ben now is excited apparently. Darasan of Reiwa, Volume 1. It looks, guys, it can't be too questionable. It's not plastic wrapped. Maybe? Okay. I'll see when I read it, but again, going into this blind as well. So that was everything I picked up in Worlds Apart. I'll show you the couple of things I picked up in Tokyo Toys, and then we'll move on to Forbidden Planet. So I picked this up on sale because it is a bit damaged. It is Yuna and the Haunted Hot Springs 14, and I grabbed it at £5. And you can see it has some card paper that is stuck to the back. We should be able to get that off with like a hairdryer or something. I only am missing like 2 volumes of this before it's complete. I've been waiting for sale sections mostly because just 7Cs is pricey. And then the second volume I picked up was Void's Enigmatic Mansion Volume 1. I was like, ah, excellent, wonderful. And that appears to have completed the series, and that is all now wrapped up at 5 volumes. Got the whole thing, I was really pleased. Now on to Forbidden Planet. So before going into this Forbidden Planet, I was a little bit wary because so far my experience of this chain outside of London hasn't been too amazing, especially the Liverpool store. It's probably one of the few manga stores where I can go in and quite easily just walk out without buying anything. Commentary was a bit better, and to be fair, Newcastle is pretty decent, so I was a bit unsure, especially as it was like, I don't know, I think just because Liverpool is a world apart and a Forbidden Planet, in my head I was like pairing it in the same way without actually ever seeing the store or knowing anything else. It was just some like assumptions of the store. But going in, I was pretty pleased. They definitely had a much like bigger selection than Liverpool, and they had a bigger manga selection than Coventry, so even the Commentaries wasn't too bad. They just didn't have as much space as they did in the Birmingham one. So I did manage to find a decent number of things to pick up. First couple of things I picked up was Collect Size to Die 3 and 4 of the Omnibus. I had mixed feelings on like rushing to stay up to date with this because I wasn't like blown away with the first one, but the same with Red River. I am quite keen to try and support these type of prints just so we can try and show the publishers that they are wanted and we want more. So yeah, I'm happy to now I'm happy to try my best to stay up to date. I'm probably not going to rush, but like making up 3 for 2s or after a few months like grabbing a few in a go, that's what I'm going to be doing. Also, lots of people do keep telling me that it does get better and it picks up, especially after the first Omni, and I am fine with that. I will keep reading, I'm just not going to rush to read it yet. And that same 3 for 2, I picked up Long Period Volume 1, a new BL from 7 Seas. It's not plastic wrapped. I'm walking past it with Kix and she was like, it's not plastic wrapped, I don't care. I do have very like mixed feelings on 7 Seas BL, especially like these the ones they put in large format. I don't know what it is about the large format, but it hits different to a smaller format volume. It does, in my head. It just drives me like insane that these are the same RRP. How upsetting is that? Next we have Destroy All Humans, They Can't Be Regenerated Volume 4, and this is the Magic the Gathering series. We already have 4. I think it has completed in Japan, but it's like 18 volumes. If you're curious about the plastic wrapped, it is not a dirty series. It's because it comes with a free Magic the Gathering card at the back and it just holds it in. And I am like forever grateful that Viz have included the card and not changed the price point. It is still $10.99 like all other Viz SIGs. I'm quite pleased with that. Okay, we have our last stack of manga. It's still from Forbidden Planet, but we're on to our like regular Viz series. So first off, we have One Piece 109. I thought I saw this in Worlds Apart and I grabbed it, and then realized after doing a lap of the store that I'd actually just grabbed 108. So I was really happy to see that they did have 109 in Forbidden Planet. I have read it, absolutely loved it. What a fantastic volume, and I again will talk more in my reading vlog. But damn, yep, I cried. One Punch Man 31. At one point I will binge a bunch of this series together. It is a very bingeable series and I am quite behind by about 6 volumes or so. It's a nice amount to binge, isn't it? I didn't even realise that this one was one I didn't have. I've just edited my London vlog and I can see that this volume is in London when I went the week before, and I just didn't twig that I didn't have it. Chainsaw Man 18. Chainsaw Man and... Actually, do I have one? Yeah, I'm gonna do them together. Chainsaw Man and Dandadan 14. These are both on my hit list of series to try and catch up to date with this year. More so Dandadan, to be honest, than Chainsaw Man, just because Dandadan, I think I'm going to enjoy Dandadan more based on what I've read of Chainsaw Man. I've been quite good at avoiding spoilers. I don't really know anything much about these series past like what I've read in volume 1, and I'm quite pleased with myself. I don't know how I've managed it, through like sheer dumb luck probably. But Dandadan I think is on my November hit list currently. I have a nice tall wobbly pile of manga right in front of me. Ruri Dragon volume 2. It's been ages since volume 1 came out. I have had it like in and out of my TBR stack, like stuff to immediately read, for months, and I really do plan to try and get to it this month or next month for sure. It has had lots of praise, it just seems like a slow releasing series. Astro Royale volume 1, a new release it looks like from Viz. Quite excited, but I am going into this completely blind. Kagurabachi volume 4, I do think I might have made a boo-boo and I might not have volume 3, but they had so much Kagurabachi in Forbidden Planet. There was like a whole shelf just of volume 4, which is crazy to me, but I understand it's a really popular series even in Japan, so maybe that's why. I haven't quite gotten the hype just from the volume 1, but I guess I'll find out reading some more. Maybe if I try and read it before the anime. That was my intention before Dandadan and failed. Our last couple of volumes, we have Spider-Man Octogirl Volume 2 and Spider-Man Kizuna Volume 1. Why is there so many Spider-Man series coming out? I picked up Ultraman one in London, and now there's this like cute kiddie one as well. Why is there so much Spider-Man coming out in manga form? I'm not like mad. I'm just confused and questioning, which could be taken out of context. These are usually just fun reads. They're like especially aimed at kids. So like when people are like, what manga would you recommend for kids? It's usually series like this. As there are a lot of questionable things in manga where it's like, even though it might be aimed at kids in Japan, culturally it might not map over here as well. But yeah, more Spider-Man manga. And with that, that is the Birmingham manga haul. We did sweep through it slightly quickly because I do need to run back to work. And Ben's gonna be so happy he can get his light novels now. He'll be like, yes, Goblin Slayer. It was so wonderful to see Liddy, Tiffany and my Caketinz in Birmingham at the weekend. Thank you so much again, Liddy, for showing us around. And I really hope we can do it again and maybe hit up some other random cities and go manga shopping, sprawling across the country. That'd be really fun. If you enjoyed the video, do remember to like and subscribe and check out my channel memberships for early access. I also do put out some members only videos now as well. Also, if you haven't already, do join the Dude at Discord server. There will be a link in the bio as well. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have the best day and I will see you next time. Bye!